Hello and welcome. Hope everyone's doing alright. I'm doing all good. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Been super busy in work and just not had time to sort of plod, if you like. But things are getting done. The utilities holding up things a little bit because it's taken up a bit of my budget that I would be spending on the garden. So yeah, we'll just have a quick round and see how everything's doing and sort of go from there really. So you can see the honeysuckle is flowering on that post. We'll swing round to that last. Let's for now just start here with this climber here, the passion flower. It's dropped off a little bit. No flowers left on it now, but we do have one passion fruit which I doubt is edible. So yeah, there we go, but all adds to the effect, doesn't it? Then we've got this passion flower, the sort of normal one, if you like. This one actually hasn't been flowering, so it's carried on growing all the way up, so that's doing all right. Again, just sort of leave it to do what it does really. Moving around, it's all much of a muchness. All of the Tracheospermum jasminoides flowers have sort of dropped off now, which is a bit worrying because I was at the pub last night and their Tracheospermum is like really flowering still, so not sure. I think I've got a lot of issues with watering. I think the weather's deceiving me a little bit, where it rains but it doesn't really rain a lot, but I've sort of been thinking, oh yeah, the plants have been getting watered and I don't think a lot of them have. So I've just fired the irrigation up actually just off the normal water because it was off with the Walkabouts last year. So yeah, just fired that up for now just to get some water into the soil in certain places. But yeah, two tiki heads are doing alright. The Jurassic Golds in there, these are all doing okay. It's starting to fill out that jasminoides, so I think in a couple of years time when it gets a chance to climb around all of this, it'll be pretty good. The fat cedera is yeah, definitely not long for this world. I can only think that maybe they take water in through their flowers because the roots of it is in the rain, if you see what I mean. And you can see the one that's open to the elements there is still green and going, but all this has died. So just wondering whether I should have been spraying the flowers like you would sort of miss the house plant, if that makes sense. But yeah, too late now, so I'm deciding what to put in there. I'm not too sure yet. I think I might go for either a sort of dwarf fatsia thing, if there is such a thing, or maybe something, I think, is it an akuba or something, but a bit more of a sort of hedgy shrub, as I would call it, like a standard one that's quite thick and evergreen and will just sort of sit there and look quite nice and edge in that flower bed. Most of the ferns around here are doing all right. The hydrangea Simania, you can see I've tucked that up under, so he's going all right now, so hopefully that will climb up the fence post. And you can see this frond on the Cyathea has finally unfurled. Next one's just started coming out. So yeah, super annoyed that the two of them are missing. The one coming out towards us, and then another one which would have been going back towards that fat cedera. The one going to the fat cedera, I turned the heating off too early and it frosted off literally the day I turned it off. And then this one, obviously I snapped it when the clothesline fell on it. But it looks a little bit messy because it's all very much the same, that, so I am starting to sort of plot and think if I can move any of them, but they're all doing so well there, I'm a bit remiss to move stuff that's doing really well, so we'll go from there. We've got this Scheffler down in the back, you can just see, so hopefully in the next couple of years that'll kind of prod its way out here and there, and sort of mix it up a little bit. Moving on around, this Fatsia's doing all right. All the bindweed coming over the fence from next door, if it's not coming under the fence. So I think I've missed the boat this year because it's all flowered and done what it's going to do. So I think in October I'll get around the back of the fence and mattock it all up, you know, like a yard away from the fence, just in preparation for next year. Fig tree's doing all right. I'm gonna have to keep this under control because it will go some, but we've got some little figs coming up and all that, so we'll worry about that at a later date. These ones down here, this Dorotis atrata is not getting enough water. Hopefully the irrigation being on will sort this out. It's all flopped down, and where it's flopped down it's pulled this Cyathea frond down as well. The Simanii at the back there on the fence that's got a bramble growing through it, you can see it has got some new growth on it, so I think the fact that I've been watering it a bit more has helped. This Cyathea is chucking one out here, so not too bad. Around here we're all good. That thing down there, the maidenhair fern, is doing okay, and even this has bounced back now. It's all nice and pert, that Pilostagia verbenoides, so happy days on that. You can see this thing, the Polysticum Herrenhausen. It's like, I think it stopped growing, and then because of the water, and then where it's been watered, it started building on the old leaves, so that's the different colours you can see there, but it looks quite nice, especially in the dark. This Cyathea is going some as well. This one wasn't in the coil, so it's a little bit behind the other one, but yeah, it's all good. Scheffler looks really good there, really likes it there, so happy with that. And this is probably, like I said before, my favourite sort of view of the garden, just all the contrast between the sort of feathery ferns up there with the Cyathea on the left and the Setiferum, and then the sort of leatheriness of the Blechnum chilense there, dead centre at the bottom, and then the sort of two different shapes of the Scheffler and the Pilostagia. So yeah, it looks quite good, that bit. I'm happy with that. On this bit, the canna's just about a flower, not anywhere near as big as they were last year in the other spot, but obviously I divided them and put half of it in there, so it's probably a little bit behind, so we'll see what that does next year. It's getting absolutely destroyed by slugs and snails, like everything else, I'm sure. A lot of this is much of a muchness. This Atrata still looks good for the fact that it's in quite hot sun. So yeah, this Scheffler struggling a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, I'm one of these, I just like to let nature take its course. I don't want to mollycoddle it too much, so we'll just see how it does. Moving on, but the Willemi pine's looking quite good. Nothing really to say about that at the moment. I missed the boat to put that in the ground, so that will go in the ground sort of at the beginning of next year's season. Move across here, you can see the Insetti's doing really well at the back there in the pot. It's been in that pot for like 2 years now, so yeah, I probably do need to do something with it, but I haven't got any pots bigger than that. But really, it's all doing all right. Even the Tetrapanax looks a lot happier there. The leaves are a bit more, yeah, where they should be, so still got to decide what to do with all this lot, really. But yeah, we'll get to that on another day. So moving around to the centre bed, the Norfolk Island pine there in the pot is actually growing now rather than just surviving, so that's good. This looks like it's very not watered. The Erythrosaura towards us keeps sort of drying up and curling up. As you can see, the Scheffler leaves as well, they're all kind of curled in, which would say to me it's not getting enough water. So I've turned the irrigation on. Or have I turned it off now? Oh no, it is. Yeah, I've got loads of little patches. There was one that right there where that little blank is. That wasn't in there earlier, and I turned it on, and because it's like under mains pressure in a tiny hole, it shot up over the garage over there. It's quite good. So I've been patching it up, trying to sort little bits and bobs out. There's another little bit that was split down there. But really, yeah, again, this Blechnum, when you compare it to the other one, is all curled up, so definitely not getting enough water, this, but it's quite good because it's letting me know the areas that are the most effective, if you know what I mean. So when it comes to setting up the irrigation properly, I know that, you know, I'll have to, this side of the garden, I'll have to do sort of undo 2 turns or have it going twice as fast, and then over there where they're kind of okay without a lot of water, I only have to have in one part, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's a good thing about irrigation, is you can sort of customize it. So yeah, so the big news is the giant honeysuckle is flowering. Very surprising for me because obviously you don't see a lot of these, so I'm well happy with that, and it's actually still growing while it's doing it and going absolutely mental. You can just see it's firing up over everything, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So I'm not going to try and sort of feed it up and through and try and make it do what I want to do. I'm just going to let it grow and just see what happens, basically. But yeah, so they start off, this one's come out today, they start off this nice sort of white colour, and then by the end of the day they sort of sag down and have lost a bit of their colour, and then the next day they're yellow, and then these are the first ones here which have sagged right down, But we did get a lot of wind yesterday, so I don't know if that's affected it, but they only last about, say, 3 or 4 days, the flowers. They're an absolute magnet for anything that flies. It's just been covered with stuff. But you can see that like all this is flowering now. We've got all these down here, and you can just see all the flower buds all up over everything. So it should be like quite short flowered, but it should be in flower for quite a long time and slowly work its way up. So the big question is how am I going to keep that alive? The heating did the job last year, but I'm a bit more worried about the foliage, trying to keep the leaves on it. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. You can see it's firing up over the fence there. They've got a bit of a battle of the climbers here. I keep having to fold this Clematis almandii back to the left because it keeps wanting to go over towards the honeysuckle. In slightly good news, this Scheffler down here is sort of shaken off, hopefully without cursing it. You know, it's starting to throw up some new leaves now, so it's not dead, which is a bonus. Bad news though is the Lophosauria just is not recovering. I think what I might have to do with that, if I can just, I've been dumping a watering can of water on it a day, just to try and keep it moist there, so I might have to dig that up and then rebuild this wall anyway. And I was going to use soil as the mortar, and then I can put ferns in amongst the rocks, and then maybe divide it up a bit, because I reckon I could probably divide that 2 or 3 times, and then put one of them sort of a bit further in from the rock so it's not quite near the side. So that's probably, if I can keep it alive until then, that would be quite good. But yeah, you can see the honeysuckle, if I step back, is really starting to take over. That's a nice little view, that, so I may have to use that one for the thumbnail. And then moving over here, bamboo's half recovered now that it's getting a lot of water. The gingers are doing quite well. Don't look like they're going to flower yet, but I might have to make use of these gingers out in the garden somewhere, because they do look quite good and nice little just to prop up here and there. And the 2 honeysuckle cuttings are doing all right as well. Rest of it's very much of a muchness. So yeah, moving forward, desperate to get the utility done so that I can put all the pipes in proper for the irrigation and get all that set up. Out here, really my next one is going to be the patio there. I know the patio kit I want. I found out the colour and the shape and where I can get it from, so it's just one of those things, you know what I mean. It's 300 quid, but you know, I need to get the utility done first, so that eats a little bit of the budget out. So yeah, I'll cut the grass maybe at some point as well. Yeah, that's it really. So it's all been a bit slow, and yeah, main issues are watering at the moment. So yeah, well, we'll leave that how it is. I'll have another quick look at the honeysuckle, because I don't know if they'll be there by the next time I do one. Yeah, good stuff. Happy with that. Anyway, hope you're all having a good day and your gardens are doing well, and I will see you on the next one. Ta-ra for now.